Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. This is week 3 in the NFL. And last week, yes, I went 1-3 in my video picks, 2-1 on my Twitter picks. Bringing up the scoreboard brings me 63% on my video picks and a measly 50% on my Twitter picks. Last week was a rough week for most people. I know a lot of pro handicappers, they went 0-3 as well. But that's not me. I tried to do my best. I did get a 25% back of the 100% if you just solely went on my 4 pick. I plan to do better this week. That brings us up to the comment of the week. There's a lot of good comments of the week this week. There's a tough choice to choose from. Augie Cleveland says, horrid to listen to. This should be a 10-minute video with John commenting, yeah, this guy drunk as a skunk. You know, I get that a lot. A lot of people say, you know, I'm sluggish, I'm slow, am I drunk? No, I'm not. I never drink. I'm not even a drinker. But, you know, without the fast editing I did like in week 1, I didn't get a single comment like that. But if I did a little slower editing, I get those comments. Yes, it should be a 10-minute video. I used to do 10-minute videos. That's why I leave it off at the 10-minute mark roughly with my 4 video picks. And everything extra, and if you go past the 10 minutes, you get a lot of additional content, you know, just me and you talking about the game. That's basically it. So you can cut it off around 10 minutes and then just, you know, cut the video. Simple as that. Alright, who would have thought after 2 weeks that, you know, you have major quarterbacks out. You got Ben Roethlisberger, that was my main pick last week, he went out. You got Drew Brees, he's out for like 6 weeks. Sam Darnold, you know, he's out a handful of weeks for mono. I mean, who's he kissing and how old is she? I don't even want to know. All right, so they're on their 3rd string quarterback because their 2nd string got injured as well. That makes you think how precious a 1st string quarterback is, because once your 1st string quarterback is, it's all downhill from there. Makes a few of these games pretty easy to pick. So let's get started. And my 4th pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got the Detroit Lions traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Detroit Lions are a 7-point road dog. And as much as I try not to put my favorite team in the top 4, I just have to do it here. Detroit Lions are undefeated. I know they're going on the road. They're 1-0-1. Undefeated team getting 7 points. We're 8th ranked in total yards on offense. And our 11th ranked defense, Matt Patricia, he's a ex-defensive coordinator, so he's defensive minded and he's doing a decent job as you can tell. Which the offense would step it up a little bit, but you look over on the Philadelphia side, they're pretty injured. You know, Deshaun Jackson most likely out. Alshon Jeffrey has a calf injury. I don't know if he's playing or not. Most likely not. And their defense was ranked 25th. I know they're the home team, but they were 7 points. So give me Detroit plus 7. My number 3 pick of the week, we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are a 21.5 point favorite. Oh my goodness, I never thought I'd be picking a 21.5 point favorite. But this Miami Dolphins, how do you trust them? They just recently gave away their top safety, Fitzpatrick, to Pittsburgh. At least, you know, Pittsburgh with their quarterback out, they're still going to attempt to try. But Miami, just if you got a good stat, you're off. We want first 30 draft picks of next year's draft. So they are cashing it in. The Dolphins are cashing it in. Probably the worst football team ever in the history of football. They had their first 2 games at home. Now they get to travel on the road to a crazy Dallas mob there in Texas. The 102-10, they're getting outscored. Like I said, I've been watching football a very long time. I've never seen a team this bad. Miami is 0-2 ATS-wise, as Dallas is 2-0 ATS-wise. So Dallas is covering the spread every week, and Miami isn't. Even these big point spreads. So I'm taking Dallas minus 21.5. My number 2 pick of the week, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are a 4-point favorite. And here, New Orleans Saints are on back-to-back road games. Drew Brees is out for probably 6 weeks. He's getting a second opinion on his thumb. Might even be longer than 6 weeks. Teddy Bridgewater stepping in as the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. You know, he's an average quarterback. You know, he's okay. You know, as I said in the last few weeks, New Orleans Saints need to find their rhythm. Will they find their rhythm with Teddy Bridgewater? I don't think so. They're 0-2 ATS-wise on the year so far. Seattle's great at home, and they have a history, a 5-1 record against New Orleans in the last 6 games. So give me Seattle -4. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the LA Rams traveling to the Cleveland Browns. The LA Rams are a 3-point favorite. And basically, you know, the Rams are 3-0 in Cleveland in the last 3 matchups. They are 2-0 ATS-wise. You think this spread would be a lot bigger? I know everybody's hyped on the Cleveland train, but this spread is not high enough for me to pick Cleveland. This is a Sunday night football game. You know, anything can happen. But I think the Rams are a far better team. The Cleveland still has a lot of penalties to address. They got them in the last 2 games. They're the most penalized team this year so far. So give me the LA Rams -3. Alright, that's the segment for the top video picks. I already placed all those picks already online. The only one I haven't placed was the Dallas one. It's 21.5. I'm hoping it'll come down a point or so. I mean, even if it goes up to 24, you know, you might as well be the same. So they're going to get smoked. But basically, run down the games. The teasers, I lost my teaser last week. The Giants just cannot cover. They just, no matter if you tease them or nothing, they're killing me. They're my Achilles heel this year. So I'm trying to stay as far away from the Giants as possible. And they're gonna have a new quarterback. So we'll see what happens. But this week's teasers, I got Minnesota -1 at home. We got Green Bay at home -1, and Kansas City at home to a money line. So that sounds like a great 3-team teaser to me. You got all 3 teams are at home. They just basically have to win. Thank you very much. All right, let's go over the games for the rest of the week. Just me and you talking. Nothing more, nothing less. What I think on each game. We got the Thursday night game. We got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Jacksonville. Tennessee's a 2-point favorite. This is going to be a defensive struggle game. The Tennessee's won 4-0 on the last straight up and ATS meetings. And 2-0 in the last 2 meetings in Jacksonville. So Tennessee seems to be the team here. They usually do well against Jacksonville. So yeah, it's only 2 points. I like Tennessee. Next is we got the Baltimore at Kansas City. This is probably the game of the week. Everybody's riding high on this Baltimore team. Like I said, you know, last week we're gonna hammer down on the Kansas City. If Baltimore, you know, covered the spread, they didn't. I had Arizona, but they still played probably the worst 2 teams in the NFL. And here they're going against the number 1 team, Kansas City, who's their home opener. They played the 2 games on the road. They're 2-0. You know, so I'm totally liking Kansas City in this one. I know it's -7. That's probably one of my top bets, but I'm definitely picking Kansas City. They're 2-0 ATS, so they cover the spread both times, and it's their home opener. So yeah, give me Kansas City -7. Next we got Cincinnati at Buffalo. Now, what Cincinnati team's going to show up, man? Is it going to be the team that they played Seattle in, or the team that they got smoked at home? That's another game I lost last week. I can't believe how horrid they played. Oh my God. I can't believe I put my money on that. Cincinnati, they're 0-2. They have a number 2 pass offense. I mean, they look good passing. But Buffalo's defense is stout. Their offense needs some work. But Buffalo is 2-0 ATS-wise. They won back-to-back road games. They're being called the Kings of New York. So yeah, I'm 6 points. Ooh, man. But yeah, they won last week by 14, so I haven't decided this one yet, but I'm most likely going Buffalo since they are 2-0 ATS wise. Another game I'm indecisive on, Atlanta at Indianapolis. It's Indianapolis home opener. Indianapolis is 6-1-0 all time against Atlanta, so they do great in the history of the Colts. They only lost one time against Atlanta, so I'm most likely picking Indianapolis. It's only a 2-point spread, pretty low. Atlanta showed me nothing. They can't play anything on the road. They almost got smoked and shut out by the Vikings during the same situation. I was up north in a dome, same situation. You know, Indianapolis Colts has a great run offense. They just run right through Atlanta. So I'm most likely taking Indianapolis on this one, but it's still indecisive, but that's what it looks to be. Next we got Oakland at Minnesota, 1 o'clock game. And Oakland, you know, only scored 10 points against Kansas City. You know, at home. Oakland's at home, a divisional game, only scored 10 points in the first quarter, and that was it. Just laid dead the rest. And Kansas City's defense is bad. So Minnesota has a great defense. So how well do you think they're going to fare against Minnesota? So it's an 8-point spread. I think they should pretty much cover 8 points. This was going to be on my top bets, but 8 points is a lot. So, but I'm definitely taking Minnesota. And also I had them teased. I got them teased this week. So next we got this was going to be, I was tossing between Dallas and this New England game. We got the Jets at New England. The spread went up again. It started at 16.5 to 23.5. And it's almost at the 24 mark. So plus it's a divisional game. I know New England's 2-0 ATS. You never make any money betting against New England, that's for sure. Or Kansas City, seems like. So New England's 2-0 ATS. The Jets are 0-2 ATS. So they haven't covered the spread at all. New England's covered both times. I'm most likely putting sprinkle a few dollars on the New England side. Like I said, New England's at home. They're 14-2, and the 2 games they did lose to the Jets in the last 16 meetings were in overtime. So yeah, New England got the drop on the Jets in New England. If it's at the Jets, you know, I might take the money, but yeah. The Jets are on the 3rd string quarterback as well. They got Darnold with that kissing disease, so he might be out 3 to 7 weeks. And then you got Trevor Siemian. He's out with the ankle for the season. So now they're on the 3rd string quarterback, and you're playing against the #1 team who won the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. So this is going to be an onslaught. Yeah. So we got 2 onslaught games. Next we got the New York Giants at Tampa Bay. Again, Giants 0-2 ATS. You couldn't even tease them the last 2 weeks. They're getting blown out so bad. Eli's most likely getting benched, it looks like. Shermer pretty much said, we're going to most likely start Daniel Jones, and I think I already heard they are starting him. So you got a rookie quarterback. How well is he going to do? He might do better than, Jameis Winston. I mean, Tampa Bay is so bad. Jameis Winston, Tampa, I lived in Tampa the last 10 years, but the Bucs, the new coach, don't trust Jameis Winston slinging the ball around. They're doing short passes. They're doing a lot of runs. They're not throwing downfield. That's what they did last week against Carolina, and it worked out fairly well. They ended up winning the game. So I assume that's what they're going to do here. And with the Giants, with the rookie quarterback, I assume to do the same thing. A little short passes, a lot of running. You got the #1 running back in the league. Giants are 0-2 ATS-wise. 7 points against Tampa Bay. This is my other undecided game. Man, it's 7 points. See, the Giants, you get all those points, and it looks so good. So what do you do? I might get caught with my hand in the cookie jar 3 times in a row this week to take the Giants again and maybe even tease them up again. Oh, will I ever learn? This is my Achilles heel. So, yeah. So I might take Giants plus the 7 points. Next, we got Carolina at Arizona. Now, someone told me to evaluate Cam Newton. Cam Newton, he's taking, dressing lessons from Elton John. and that's all he cares about. He don't care about, you know, being a starting quarterback. Yeah, he's doing horrible. In the last 4 games, he had no touchdown. He's 0-8 in the last games he started. So, you know, he's 0-2 this year at home, and there's only been 2 games played this year. Now here they're going on the road to Arizona, a team that wants to win. Arizona is a fighting team. They're doing everything in their power to win some games. You got a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback. We could prove to them that we can win some games in the NFL. And they're fighting. You know, they're 2-0 ATS-wise. Arizona is, and Carolina's 0-2. So, I mean, why wouldn't I take the 3 points with Arizona, you know, at home on top of it? And plus, Arizona's 2-0 in the last 2 meetings against Carolina in Arizona. And yeah, Cam Newton did play that game. So, and Arizona won. So, I like Arizona plus the 3. Next would be Houston traveling to the Chargers. And I got the Chargers circled on this, -3 after a loss. They get to go home. And Houston, they off the victory, so they're 1-1. Both these teams 1-1. The Chargers are pretty banged up here, but they're at home. You're taking the 3 points. This is a pretty much even game. It can go either way. So I got the Chargers -3. Pittsburgh traveling to San Francisco. Roethlisberger's out. You know, who knew he had tennis elbow? You know we saw Roethlisberger get slammed against New England in week 1, but who knew? You know, the second week, man, he just looked like garbage, and you had to depend on that. Them going home, you didn't know about the injury. He's a guy who's going to play hurt, and he won't tell anybody. So here we go. I got my #1 bet, along with many other people had their #1 bets as Pittsburgh. You know, and he just fell short. The rookie, you know, what's his name, Rudolph, he looked pretty good. So he kept with Seattle, but, you know, he wasn't covering that spread. And ultimately ended up losing anyway. But Pittsburgh's 0-2 ATS-wise, and San Francisco's 2-0 ATS. So give me the 49ers. And the note, you know, the last time the 49ers went on the road twice and won both games was in 1989 with Joe Montana. And last but not least, we got the Monday night game. We got Chicago traveling to Washington. You know, Chicago's on a back-to-back road games. They are 0-2 ATS-wise. Their offense is stuttering. Next to Cam Newton being off the mark as the #1 quarterback, Mitch Trubisky's #2. I mean, he's thrown the most incompletable passes that you can't catch so far this year. So that tells you how bad he's doing. In his third year, he shouldn't be doing this bad. But you got Washington, they're just banged up. This should be a low-scoring, head-to-head game. You know, a lot of defense. I just think the home team. You know, I don't like the Bears either, so that doesn't help any. But yeah, give me Washington plus that 4. Well, that about wraps it up. I'm sorry for the bad week last week. I'm still ahead of all my pools. I'm at least top 5, not leading in all my pools that I gave you in week 1. Remember, I told you to join. A lot of you have joined and seen it. So, you know, I'm not doing that bad. I plan to get up on my game on these video picks. I take an extra day to review even more stats, and no, I don't just, you know, take a guess at these. I do a lot of homework, spend a lot of days, a lot of time crunching numbers doing these picks. So I will see you next week, and thanks for stopping by, and like and subscribe. Peace. You enjoy placing a few bucks on your favorite team? Maybe try your hand at cards or on the slots. Use me as a reference and head over to my Twitter and click on the link below and receive a new member bonus and help support this channel. Bovada, just better. Let's see, comment of the week, Mike Trotter. This guy looks like Mr. Beast's dad. Mr. Beast's dad? Who's that?